Kaboom! Hey everybody, are you all staying humble? We are coming to you just at the close of the trading day on Tuesday, March the 30th, and what news, what a change it has been. Just about noontime, right about 3 hours ago, and as I record this, there's about 2 minutes left in the trading day. So just about 3 hours ago, Brian Foote, the CEO of Humble, announced that Friday, the digital asset markets will be open as compared to the stock market and available in the U.S. on April 2nd, which is Friday, across multiple exchanges will be the Humble digital asset trading. And he adds, the block ETX will be compatible with accounts on Coinbase Pro, Bittrex US, and Binance US. I believe how that is referred to. And it is quite something, the change that we have had in the fortunes of Humble. So let's see if I can get a current price now. We were down earlier in the day. We were down below $3 a share earlier in the day. And you see that's right, that says noon, but that's Eastern time. So that's right about 11 o'clock. And then we moved up here close to right about the time that Brian Foote released his note, and we were still below $3, and you obviously see the big change in the price of Humble. I bought some more forwardly this morning at about 53 cents. It was even lower earlier, down to about 50 cents, and that's about 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central. And here we see it now, 58 cents. It's been up to about 59 cents or so. And what does it mean? Well, it means Humble continues to deliver on schedule is what it means. If we had the 15,000 investors from the first month who wanted to use them but could not, as Brian Foote had told us, that is Humble charges $4.99. I just rounded it up to $5 a month. That would mean that just those 15,000 would have brought in $75,000 a month. And if you try times that by 12, if that's all you had, that would be $900,000. So almost $1 million just on that alone. And if you are somewhat new, here's the from Humble Financial, and you got block 3, block 5, block 10. They have different blocks. Think of them as you would an ETF, where there are different assets in there. And what is very interesting about Humble doing this is in those blocks, they combine their technology, and I believe I'm right to say artificial intelligence, to where they are buying and selling of assets. So that just as we as humans are doing it on our gut feel, they're incorporating all the data and trading. So it's like robotic investing, and they take the assets and they kind of know when to sell and when to buy. I had mentioned before, one of our fellow investors in Humble, who is a Canadian, brought up, Mark, M-A-R-C, brought up on Twitter that he had been doing very well and posted a photo a couple of weeks back, how he had invested, I forget the initial money, but he was up substantially on a percentage basis relative to the overall market. We see that Humble had gone all the way up to about 361. Actually, it says in the day range 374. Where it had been a low of 284. So that's quite a movement forward. This is March the 30th as I record this. And for heaven's sakes, they just had the merger in December. They just really started in January. We are just in the beginning here, and Humble has a variety of services. And basically what I would say, without going into all the details, to give you the big picture, you have to be a little patient. And there's some of our investors out there, and you can just feel their panic that they're not being patient. They think they're supposed to retire in 3 months, like Humble's obligation to make them millionaires. It might make you a millionaire. It might make you hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you have to be a little patient. And the other thing is, folks, let's remember some of the other lessons I've talked about over the time. You want to keep cash in your portfolio, because when your investments go down, you have some cash to go in and buy some more stocks. One person lamented, well, it's easy for all those people who got in early at 20 cents, but what about us who bought at $6? Well, you know what? One of my sons bought in at $6. So he's down, but he bought some more as it went down. And none of us knows where a stock is going to go in the next few days. How would I know that Brian Foote was going to come out today with this announcement? I had no clue. All I would say is that what we knew. You got to go on what you know. It's kind of like being an investor is a little bit like being a detective. You got to look at what evidence is available to you and then make some extrapolation of information. And what we know is that they had put out in their earnings call what they were going to do. And here's the blockchain financial services that were mentioned. These are the ETXs that will be trading on those platforms that Brian Foote mentioned: Coinbase Pro, Bittrex, and Bittrex US and Binance US. So those will be available as of Friday. What I would say is, folks, you don't want to panic. You got to be patient. We have any number of videos where we went over the timeline. And here we see in one of the timelines from an earlier presentation by Brian Foote, first quarter, let me draw your attention to the first quarter, that they're getting the merchants, they're getting the merchant listings, and down there, launching of ETXs. So they just made it because the quarter runs through the end of the month, which is tomorrow. And they're doing what they said they would do. And as we look at the second quarter, we see peer-to-peer, blockchain listings, marketing of the ETXs. And we already went through, again, that money that's going to be coming in. And again, this was $900,000 based on what Brian mentioned were 15,000 investors in the first month they came out that wanted to get into the ETXs but couldn't. How many more will there be? If we picked up another 15,000 investors in every month going forward, and they continued and were happy customers, you're adding $1 million annually then per month, or per 15,000 investors on an annualized basis. So that doesn't count the money that would be coming in from other sources like Tickery, like the studio, and of course we're going to have the app coming out. And the app will also be bringing in, transactions as that starts being downloaded and used around the world. So quite a turnaround in one day. And the big lesson would be, don't count this company out. Give it some chance. They haven't let us down. They've been following their own timeline. They've been producing along the line that they said they would, and they're operating on their timeline, not your timeline. So all I can tell you is, I think in the long run, you're going to be a happy camper. Now, the market is the market, and we're going to hit maybe some potholes along the way, but that's just the way it is. That's the nature of investing. This is, no company comes out and just goes up without some reversals here and there. Again, on March 30th, as I record this, we're still in the very first quarter. This is not like you're selling hot dogs on the street corner. This is a company that trying to compete with them will not be easy. It'll be costly, it'll be timely, it'll be, expensive. And that is, if not a moat, certainly a hurdle for competition. So this is I think, a winner. I'm sticking with it. I hope you will too. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a good week. I'll keep producing, but don't forget the markets are closed on Friday, but that's also the day that the ETXs come out. And of course, we'll be looking for the investor call in April. Until then, thank you all so much for paying attention. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Make your comments. Let us know what you think about these developments, and we will see you tomorrow.